Well, good morning, guys. Now, this is not a how-to video. This is just the way I am doing it video. I want to make that quite plain and clear in case you follow what I do and something goes wrong. It's not my fault, okay? Gotta make that clear to start off with. Anyway, what am I doing today? Well, I've had a leaky tap in the kitchen for quite some time. It keeps dripping. Very annoying. Not only does it use my water, obviously, it's drip, drip, drip. Yeah, you know what it can be like. Well, I've actually managed to tighten the tap off so much now, it doesn't drip, but it means it's basically, if you turn it on, it does drip. Yeah, doesn't work, does it? This is what I've done anyway. So the first thing I've got to do, I'm just going to switch my water pump off. Well, actually, I've just done it. I've already switched it off. It's in the off position there. So the water pump's off. No water coming out the tap. That's good. This is the tap in question. I want to change the washer in. Tools I've got here, I have a thin-bladed screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver or crosshead, whatever you want to call it, a new replacement washer, and an 18mm spanner, wrench, whatever you want to call it. So this is what we do. Well, this is what I do anyway. First thing I need to do is remove this plastic cap off the top of the cap, which is done quite simply by easing under a little flat bladed screwdriver and pulling it off. The next thing we've got to do is actually remove the turning bit for the tap, which is quite simply, there's a little Phillips head screw. So screwdriver in, undo that, it's undone, and perhaps it's not undone, and lift the whole thing off. Now this is the gubbins we need to get to, and we have to undo this here, this body of this, and remove it so we can get to the washer behind it. Now this is tight. If I try to move this as it is at the moment, the whole tap just moves, so I can't be doing that. That's not good. Now you could try and hold this with a pair of grips or something, but it's quite easier if you put on a long bar or something. Piece of scaffold tube or something similar. Perhaps not quite a scaffold tube. What I'm using, this is my tiller. This is my tiller arm off the boat, which I'm just going to slide over the top like so. Gives me a lot of leverage now to hold it with. Put my spanner on here. Okay, there we go. There it goes. There we go, we've got it. Right, I'll remove that now out of the way. Now I can hold it with my hand and quite happily unscrew it. Oh, look at the gunk on the end of that. It's all gunked up. Washer's almost flat. It's no wonder it's not sealing. So we'll get that old washer off of there. The seat doesn't look too bad. It's got a bit of gross on it. I think I'll scrape most of that off my finger. It feels quite flat now. What I might just do is actually a little bit of wire wool, shove down there and give it a wriggle around. Well, I thought I had some wire wool pads. I can't find them. I was going to cut a little bit off, but so what I've come up with, I've got one of these sponges. I'm just going to cut that if I can. There we go. Cut that off. The spongy bit is going to be in the way, so I'll pull that off the spongy bit if I can. I don't want to peel off, so we'll cut it off with the scissors. Like so. I'm just going to shove that into the tap there. Double it up if I can. Give it a bit of a rub down there. Yeah, that's actually removed off. It's made it. Well, I'll show you in a second. It's going to give it another rub round. Let's see if that's showing. Not quite sure how good that's showing, but it's quite clean down there now. I put my finger down there. It's actually very smooth. It was very rough earlier on. So obviously that's done the job. So now I've got to change this over. It's just a push on type. Some have a little screw in the middle. This one just looks like it pushes on. So try and get it on there so it doesn't scratch anything. Dig in there. Try and get this old washer out. I think I'm going to have to go away from the camera to do this so I can hold it and so to do it. Yeah, I'm going to go and take this out and I'll come back to you in a second. I can't do it with the camera in the way. I've almost got it out now, as you can see here. There's a bugger to get out, but there we go. That's the old washer out. Looks fairly good there. I've just measured it up. That is the replacement washer, the one I've got out. So that goes over the top there, just like that. And there we are. That's replaced. Now all we've got to do is reverse engineer, basically, or put it all back in the opposite direction we took all the parts in. I left the bowl there in case any bits dropped off. They'd fall in the bowl, not down the drain. So here we go, put it all back together again. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. When I screw this back in, because that's really tight, I'm going to put a little bit of grease on there. Now this probably is all wrong, but what I've got here, waterproof grease, which is I use for the stern tube. So I've got my grease and I've just got a cotton bud here. I'll put a little bit onto a cotton bud. And then on these threads, I'm just going to put a tiny bit of this grease. It doesn't actually probably need to be all the way around, just because as you screw it down, it would move it around. But it's not going to come in contact with the water, because the water, you know, this bit isn't. So it should just make it easier for another time to get it out, I hope. So I'm going to screw that back in, and as I say, that thread literally is only on the bit there, so it shouldn't make any difference to the water. There's the hot water anyway, and I never drink it anyway, so it makes no difference. Take my 18mm spanner again, nip it in. There's a rubber seal behind this, so you don't need to over tighten it. It shouldn't leak. So I'm going to put it like that. Before I put it all back together again, all the rest of it, I'm just going to turn the water on. Right, water's running there. And as we can see, no drips. That's good. The other tap, you can see, working perfectly okay. The pump's repressurising up the accumulator. So that looks good to go. I'm pleased with that. Now just to put the handle back on, or the knob, or the turny bit, or whatever you want to call it. That goes back on like so. Screw that back on. The screws only to keep this on. It doesn't actually really do much else. Put the cover back on. And there we go. Job done. He says. Oh. I just realised that at this moment in time, that tap can't work. The reason being is I'm in the middle of another job at the moment. My hot water tank's all disconnected at the moment. Putting an immersion in it and a solar dump. Well, I'm waiting for the immersion to turn up. So I can't finish that job off yet. I am with video and all that job, so you'll get to see that as well. So yeah, I don't know if it's leaking or not. But as soon as I get all that back together, I'll know straight away. If it leaks, I'll let you know. Meanwhile, thanks for watching. A big thank you goes out to everybody that supports the channel. I really appreciate all your help. And that just leaves me to say, thank you very much for watching. Trevor out.